is doing really well out in the world. And my gosh, the energies are going crazy. Today we're going to talk about being a shaman and some of the practices of being a shaman. So I hope we get some people on soon. I might freeze up for a minute. I'm going to try to share this out. Here we go. Okay, share. Yep, can't seem to do it any other way. If you have Hi there, Orville Nation. Hey, thanks for coming on. I know how busy you are. That's very cool. Today we're going to talk about shamanic practices. The Kool-Aid, huh? You're going to drink some of the Kool-Aid. Oh, God, that's funny. Well, I'm waiting to see we get even more, but I know people have questions about the shamanic side because they've been asking about it. So I thought this time we would talk about the shamanic practices because it is interesting and it is very cool. So I hope more people get on, even though I love having you, of course. Yeah. So I hope you're having a good day. I like all your little icons. How do you get those? I don't have those. I especially don't have the little nerdy man there. Interesting. Yeah, that one. I don't know how you have that one. I don't know. I don't know how to get that. Well, I'll have to look. So, we have two people on. Hello. Today we're going to learn a little bit about shamanic practices. I also would love for people to ask questions. And yes, I guess I'll just start talking, right? And see what happens. So, in about 2009, 2010, I was called, hi there, do I have kids? Yes, they're grown. Well, they're pretty much grown. Anyway, so I was called to be a shaman in about 2010 or 2009, right around there. And I said no to the calling. Why did I say no to the calling? Because I take being a shaman extremely serious. You have to really keep the mind as pure as possible, meaning you don't get caught up in all the dramas, you don't get caught up in the negativity, you try not to have judgment on either sides of anything. You have to stay in a place where your mind is open to best help people and to best help see clearly. If you are only one way in a belief, then when you go up or when you go and you want clarity or you're trying to help someone, it's clouded. And when I'm helping someone, I want to stay open to make sure that I can help them. Hello, Inspiration TV and Kas Sadi, who wanted to know if I have kids. So, and I'm hoping Angular gets on too. He's consistent and some of the others. But anyway, so shamans are, it's not a coffee. If it was a coffee, I would be like flying in here. It is chai tea. Yeah, and it is a big cup, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I needed it today. It's not my Buddha tea. It's just ginger and chai and a little bit of coconut milk, right? It's got enough zing to it that makes me happy. Yeah. But I do love my Buddha tea. And yeah, hi HD. I love chai tea. Yes. Isn't it good? It's just, and right now with the fall coming in, isn't it spicy? I love it. Yeah, I love it a lot. So anyway, there are many different kinds of shamans. We have basically the same kind of, a shaman is indigenous, but they're all over the world. And they lots of people call them a witch doctor. They were the healers of their tribes, their communities. Are they sort of like a witch? I guess. Everything's sort of related. But they were the healers. They were also the ones that often led the groups in prophecies or in new lands. There's incredible stories. They also were the ones that would help other people with their psychic abilities. Okay? Now, in different areas, shamans do slightly different things. Really, they do the same but in different ways. Like if you go down to Peru, if you ever are sick or anything, that is the place to go. The shamans in Peru are phenomenal on understanding the spirit of plants and understanding the communication and the relationship between humans and plants. And they can then have the plants, with the plant's permission, to help heal the people. And they understand what plants can help right the systems in people. Okay? Correct. And so when you want to, if you are suffering from anything like cancer, Lou Gehrig's, anything like that, I would hightail my little self down there to talk to them, because no one understands it quite like they do. They are incredible. Now, in America, we have a lot of indigenous peoples, and on top of that, it's really funny because depending on the indigenous people, the shaman of that tribe or community, you like plants? You sprouted ginger this year? Oh my gosh, and turmeric. Oh my gosh, good for you. Oh no, those are two wonderful herbs. I have ginger in my chai. That gives it a little zing, let me tell you. And I also usually put clove in and cinnamon and cardamom, okay? But I wasn't in for all that zing. Oh, and clove, I forgot clove. But anyway, and I really like, and turmeric at night is fantastic. You're doing well. I didn't plant those. I should. I'm just getting started, right? So, all right, so depending in America, what tribe you're in, where you were in America, you have the shamanic beliefs differed a little. The peoples of that community or tribe differed. Now, right now I was called to be, and I found out why. And I also found out why I was called to be a shaman. It's so funny. I didn't even know. But I was called to live where I am, and that is in the southeast side of Tennessee. And I kept being called there. And I didn't know why. But then I found there are other people being called here too. Isn't that interesting? And each one of us has Cherokee, which is the peoples that lived here. Isn't that incredible? So it's like they're calling us home. And I do have Cherokee in my blood. It was my grandfather's parents, so my great-grandparents on his side, on my mom's side, who had, the mother was Cherokee. Well, I didn't know that until this year. I finally did the research, right? That's why I've been called so much. Now, the Cherokee people I know, they're shamans. their people actually were all looking, they just weren't satisfied with the land shamanic. They were always in search or even knowing of other worlds and of other divinity. They were all looking, they looked at Atlantis, they looked at other dimensions. They seemed to have insight that there is much more than just where they were. And the shamans drew upon that, of the Cherokee people, drew upon and drew from help from these places to bring goodness to the people and the guidance, which I find very interesting. I don't think so. I don't think I'm Elizabeth. I think there are a lot of people that are related in every sort of way, so I never want to say no, but I certainly don't know. I don't think so as far as I know. However, I didn't know I was also had Cherokee, so there you go, right? So now that's indigenous people of the Americas, North America. Then there are the shamanic north, the Iceland and all the Netherlands and all way up, you know, cold, think cold, all right? Now, then you start getting into a whole different thing. And most of the shamans there, they of course were medicinal, but they dealt mostly in the psychic realm. So the Cherokee people did too. But that wonderful psychic realm. And that's where I am more. I love the plants. I use the plants. I make my fireside little stuff for when you get flus. I understand the herbs. I understand the native plants. And I love to have them in everything. However, I tend to do all healings through the psychic realm. Now, so then you're dealing with other so-called gods. You're dealing with Odin and Freya. There's just a ton of them. And a lot of times Freya comes into I channel the Council of Light. She's usually there. Freya is beautiful. She is of love. She is also a Warris. Did I say that? She was also one who would go into battles, but she was about the love of home and her people. There's just many. Odin, if you call in Odin to help you, be prepared, because he loved to learn. He went to great extremes to learn anything, and if you bring him in, and that's with the crow, then, oh my God, you are asking for, a very hard lesson. I guarantee. He always brings it in, but you will learn. Oh my gosh, you will learn. So anyway, those are the different kinds of shamans. Now, what do I do with the psychic healings? Well, that means I heal souls. I read your soul. I can tell you what your soul has wanted to tell you. I can do the soul retrievals. I do that quite often. I do past life regressions. I do also help people jump forward, but of course you do know that that's not hard to do, because everything is happening at the same time, right? There really is no forward or backwards, right? So if you have all that, first of all, I understand and I work between the three worlds. Every shaman understands that. There is and it goes with the tree trunk. Now, the tree of life is very important to us. The roots are what I call the gray zone. It's where souls go when they're lost. It's a very weird world that's very gray, meaning it has this ich feeling. Okay? It's just ich. and everything is sort of backwards and very mixed up, and there's a negative pull in there, but it's where people or souls go when they're scared to go to the light. They have passed out of their bodies and they are scared to go to the light. So they either hang around on our earthly plane, which we call ghosts, okay? So their spirits will hang around here. I will. And then I will. Thank you, Oroville Nation. I definitely will. And on our plane, and a lot of times they think we look like a good compromise to the light, and they will attach to us, and lots of times they won't. It all depends. So you've got the underworld, which I never go to by myself because of that negative pull. If I go there, I always bring my guide, a couple of my guides that I trust totally, and Archangel Michael. And then I know that you can tell a real Indian. Yes. And then we have our earthly plane, which is kind of a mixture for everything. And we have the spirits here. We also have ourselves, obviously, right? This is where all our realities can come true. This is where we create and experience and learn, right? And then that's like the trunk of the tree. And then the top of the tree is the light, what I call the light. They call it the higher. That is where what you call heaven instead of the light, same thing. That is where what we call source or God is. That's where we call all the unity that happens, and that's the structure of everything. But I do have news for you. No matter what zone you are in, you are part of that incredible structure. We are all connected, no matter what plane of living we are in or where our spirit is. We are all connected in a beautiful network of energy. So we will be able to buy that hat in the new shop. No. I mean, we have hats, but this is my hat. I've had it for years. It's one of my favorites, actually. I would love to have a hat like that. If I can find more of them. I certainly don't make them, that's for sure, right? So, do you think if we didn't have watches, clocks, and not many people around, would time slow down relatively, or what we perceive right now? Very good question. HD, I like that. Time is extremely relative, and on this time, yes, I think, yes, time would slow down. And time would, because, Einstein kind of, believe it or not, they're finding out. I listen to Degrassi all the time because I really love him. And there's actually a video that Degrassi does on this. It's funny how he talks about, I can't put it in the exact words as he does, but he does talk about how the earth and the whole universe, our universe, not every part of the universe, but our universe, and in relation to the sun, will somehow just correct time automatically. Now, in that case, if it is by that, if that is controlling our time, then maybe not. It's a very theoretical kind of question. I do know that there are many times that I jump times, and I also know that I have seen time slow down incredibly. Yeah. So whether that is what time plane you are in does denote what time you are living by. Yeah. You love hats too. I do too. Good question. Yeah. Why a lot of people died and come back, but others don't? Come back, you mean like in reincarnation? Or do you mean by ghosts? Hi there, Ish Nunez. I think I got that right. Hey, it does seem like with kids, time flies. Although when I was a kid, I thought time was very slow, but I was doing so much. When we have kids, time does fly. And I feel like I am not like those that overdoses. Not like those that overdoses. No, I don't either. Oh, you mean people who, okay, so people, I gotta go back and see your question because I do not. Okay, why a lot of people died and come back but others don't? Okay, you come back to this world if you want to learn something else or you want to correct a cycle for your soul. Because on Earth is one of the most, I think, the most fun places to be. I know a lot of people would disagree with me. So be it. But this is where you get to experience and learn. And your job is to actually learn contrast from where you're from. But it's also how do we start to wake up and how we start to see things that fascinates me. Also, I kind of love all the things we go through to learn these dynamics and these different contrasts. I mean, look at our world now, right? I mean, it is quite a privilege to be here now. So if that's the truth, then some of us will go home to heaven or the light, right? Or the gray zone, wherever you choose that lower level. But you go usually to the light, and then you can decide. Then you can decide which way you want to handle, how you handled your life down here. Now, many people are very happy to just go up there and stay. But, you know, eternity is a long time. And sometimes you want to come back and correct something that has happened in a past life, a cycle that you want to change, or sometimes you want to experience something new. But not everybody wants to do that. And if you go down, if you do not go to the light and you end up in that gray zone, you don't come back. You get caught in a lot of people get caught in loops. That's not fun. People who have been in war, who have died tragically, they get caught in these loops. And what is a loop? A loop is when you live that day in the war that you died, or that day in the murder that you died. You live it over and over and over, and you don't even know you're doing it. Yeah? Yeah. That's awful. And it's not a punishment. It's because you cannot let go of it. And if you can't let go of something, you will live it over and over and over. Okay, I want to see what's going on here. Angular. However, it's important to remember that like the player holding the controller, your authentic essence observes, learns, and grows with each experience. Yes, Angular. Your essence doesn't always, do you know your essence doesn't always just watch? And if you're in tune with your essence, which is your soul, then your soul can direct you more. But many times, even if you choose something that your parents say you should do instead of following what your soul says, and you can tell what your soul says to do because it feels more joyful, more playful, more engaging. If you follow what parents say or teachers say and you go that way in your life, then your soul will still try to learn the lessons that it's here to learn through that way. You never make a wrong move. It's just that if you follow and you're in tune to your soul, and you're in tune to your heart, and you allow your soul to sing through you, and you allow the creation to sing through you, the path is a much, much easier road. Yes? Don't get caught up in the up and downs of the game. Yes. Well, if you're with your soul, you definitely don't, right? But you shouldn't anyway. You should know that everything is happening for you. And the challenges you meet on your road are there for a reason. And it's there to help you learn a higher lesson. Not just the lesson on how to get through that thing, that obstacle, but the higher lesson. Like, I got through that with so much more ease. Obstacles, or my gosh, I wouldn't be where I am today if I haven't gone through the obstacles I was at. You understand the higher lesson that everything that happens builds you as a character, as a person, and a character that would achieve the goal you're going to achieve, right? So you don't amp out. You just deal with it as efficiently and as smoothly as you possibly can, because it's making you who you're going to be, right? Yes. I wonder if time would slow down since I'm an empty nester now. I am an empty nester. Seems like I'm again an empty nester. My son came home and left again, and it's like, oh my God, I can't keep doing this. An empty nester. Does time slow down? You know, it's funny. The time speeds up, unlike water, when water boils and it slows. Time speeds up the more you watch it. And when you have kids and you have a schedule, you're watching time like crazy. And you're always thinking, I got only 10 more minutes. I only got this. I only got that. And when you let go of that, you find you get 100% more done, and time has almost stood still. It's really funny. When I'm not on a schedule and I'm just doing a bunch of things, it's like, my God, why do I still, it seems like only a half an hour has gone by the clock, but yet I feel like I have done so much. So I think you'll find more of that. Yes? I got to get caught up with these comments. Some people get a heart attack and died and don't come back to life. Some drug overdoses die and come back to life. Oh, now I understand what you're saying. Thank you for that clarity. All right, so some people, it all depends. Some people will get a heart attack and this is the time they were supposed to go. You know, we do know when we're supposed to go home. And so they get that heart attack and it sends them. And sometimes they haven't finished the lessons. It wasn't their time to go. And they have a choice to come back. And sometimes they can even have a choice to come back and decide not to come back. So it is the person and where their conscious mind is at. And I don't know. You know, one time I had to take my brother. It was my brother, because he was so scared of going into the light. I took him myself. Now, I asked my guides and they told me that I should take him because he has a trust issue, I guess. And I was very scared because I thought, I don't know if I want to come back, right? If I go there with him and I see and feel that unconditional love, that incredible love and that peace, why in the name of heaven would I come back? But my wonderful guides said they would tug on the cord. So when I got there, and it was beautiful, it was everything I could ever comprehend was there. then I felt the tug. And I thought, I do have to come back for some work. So I made sure he was fine and I came back. Do some people come back and have the NDE experience? Yes. Yes. Some people come back and find out that their bodies aren't there, so they can't come back. There's a lot of stuff that happens. But it's nothing to fear because you can always go home, right? Or you can come back some people, the NDE, explain what the NDE is, and then I can tell you. Yes? Good convoy. What's a convoy? Oh, conversation. Anyway, so in my near-death experience, oh, yeah. Okay, it wasn't their time. Simple as that. They were not, it was we humans, not being in our awake state, we put ourselves in quite a few places where we can have an accidental death, right? And it's not even a real death. It's just where the body kind of, you leave your body for a minute. I leave my body all the time, so. But they leave their body where the body kind of dies. And that's a near-death experience. And yes, there are people who do that. Usually they fall off of bikes or it's some kind of accident that happens. Or drugs. And when they go up to the light, they find that their mission isn't done. And a lot of times the body is saved and they can come back. But they never get to the complete light. They never get to the highest part of the light because really that part is, they just don't, because I don't know if they can come back so easily then. Yeah, but near-death experience is very cool. In the near-death experience, because you're just on the path, you see a lot. You see a lot. And you see, there is no one waiting at the gate. I'm going to tell you this right now. You will also see what your mind allows you to see. So if you think you're going to be judged, well, then you'll hear some near-death experience people say, well, I think there was somebody to judge me. There is no one to judge you. But there are guides that will walk you on the path to light. And if you do not want the light, which some people don't, seriously, they do not. They don't want that. They don't feel comfortable with it. Then they will go to another place. They will go down to the gray zone. They will go to the darkness. But it's not a punishment. It's where they want to be. Isn't that an interesting thing right there? And it's what their mind will understand. Okay? Death is very clear when you are in it. But to explain it, it's very hard because it's so opposite what we are taught. Yeah. No St. Peter. Thank goodness. No St. Peter. No. In fact, it is one of the most peaceful, beautiful, loving walks you have ever been on. And everything is reassuring. Everything becomes very clear. And you're walking with someone that has passed before you that you love, okay? And when you're walking with that person, I'm trying to see this thing that people are sending me. When you're walking with that person, there's this incredible bond. It's really beautiful, guys. And if you allow yourself to get rid of the guilt and the shame, because that's the only thing that keeps you back, if you let go of that crap and that people are going to judge you, if you just let go and let yourself experience and go with the experience. You'll hear it. You'll hear the incredible music of the light. It has incredible music. And you just follow it. And you walk with this beautiful person that you just loved. And you just feel like you're being hugged. You just feel that everything is welcoming you and that you are the most beautiful being ever. That's what it feels like. Yes, it is. Now, yes, it is Orville Nation. The story and all other religious things, yeah. Now, the story of Jesus is real or not, I stopped believing on it. I know. Yeshua did live. Okay? Is the story totally true? No. I have a council of the light that I work with so much, and Yeshua comes on it every so often, and that's an incredible experience. It is not totally true, no. It was manipulated like everything else. And it's very sad. It's very sad because, no, he was one of the greatest ascended masters that we have, you know. So yes, people try to use his story to gain control over people to feel guilty. And yeah, that's enough said. So the story, you can forget about it, but the incredible master that he was and is, and what he was trying to teach was so important, and it got lost because people wanted to use it for power. That's yeah. So that probably lost me about 1,000 people. But it's the truth. It's the truth. And I have it from good source, so I believe it, right? You can't get better than the light. So I had someone who went back and said, oh, a soul retrieval. Thank you. Of course, hon. I'm so happy I can. And you've been on here before. So I'm very happy to, if I can help with people's clarity and to give you more ease of mind, because really you should have more ease of mind and stop, you know, and to answer some of the questions that cause you to feel any sort of grief. You know, every day, I have souls that come to me. My house is always haunted, and they're coming because I open the light for them. That's part of the shaman, right? And I can open the light and get them they're lost and they want to go home, and they've missed the opportunity because they were scared. You have 3 days, well, 2 to 3 days, when you leave your body, and you'll hear that music. But if you just want to hang around here, it will just stop. It'll stop. It's not there forever. You know, it's a portal. You're actually going up into a portal like anything else. And so if you hear that music and you just, when they come to me, I have the ability to ask that it may be opened, and it will open. And then I have to sit there and talk these beautiful souls that want to go, but they're so freaking scared they're going to be judged, that they're not worthy, that they're going to be cast into hell. And we have done such a disservice, an incredible disservice, by really altering people to actually stay as a ghost instead of going home and feeling that love. I can't talk enough about that, because yeah, we've made people not go to the light because they think they're going to be judged. And I spend so much time trying to convince them that it's okay to go. Usually, if I can get a loved one to come, you know, and I usually can get a loved one to come and walk with them, that helps tremendously. But I'll tell you, it just floors me with the fear that people have and how cruel it is just so that you have the power to control the populace and make them feel guilty and make them pay for this or that or stay with this religion or that, to actually cause people to think that going home is some kind of privilege you have to earn is wrong. I know they do. Orville Nation. Yeah, and some people say that you can't go to heaven if you've done something, right? So I'm telling you right now, the light, yeah, see, that's another fear tactic. God, I've heard that. That if you go to the light, you're going to be trapped. That you're never going back. I've even watched. I listened to the whole thing, and I thought, nope, that's not right. You go into the light. You will get to source, the creative source or God. You will get there, and that's where you decide. You get to decide that you either want to change the cycle of that life you just led, or there was something karmic that you want to, and it's not karmic like you think. It's karmic in, how do I want to say it? It's issues you want to break the cycle in. Issues, like if you suffer from a whole bunch of anxiety, you will get another chance to come down and conquer the anxiety if you want to wake up from the anxiety. That kind of thing. Does that make sense? But it's not an endless loop. And many people, this is their last ride. They don't want to come back down here. You know, I've heard them say, people that know that they have a choice. Me, some days I think, oh, it would be so nice to just be there. But then I think, I love adventure. My soul loves adventure, right? So I do want to come back down for yet another one. And I'm a pretty old soul. But I just love to try. I love to just try. And I love the challenges of this world. So everybody's different. Yes, angular. I know that's what you've heard. I'll tell you, there are so many want us. So let me ask this, if that is true by their standards, that you go to the light and all you do is live in this timeless loop of reincarnation. Is that all you do the rest of all your soul days? No, it's not. And not only that, do you think this is the only place that your soul can come? Because it's not. One of the things I've learned, mostly as a shaman, is that you have choices between so many different planets, civilizations other than this world that are much, much easier than this world. It is all a choice in what your soul wants to evolve. You've got to remember, the soul is connected. We are all connected. It is this incredible. When I went into heaven, it was like this humongous, it almost felt like a cloud, but not. And it was just pulsating and big. And then it broke into millions and millions of souls just to welcome me and my brother. And it was so much powerful love. And you feel, and right then and there is when I felt that I was all of a sudden me, but I was one of them. I was getting really entangled into that wake up, that this is a true connection, not just something we conceptualize, but I felt like I could feel every essence of every soul as they could feel me. We were totally one. And that is hard to come back from. And if it hadn't been the nudging, I probably wouldn't have been here, because that is incredible. And when you feel that, you start to understand that the things you learn down on this earth, you elevate by your own experiences and how you experience it. You are felt throughout everything. You elevate or bring down the universe. That's how big it is. You elevate by learning the higher lessons and staying in the victimhood or the hate or the hardness. You actually weigh it down. Isn't that incredible? Look at the power we each have. Some sources say the light is a reincarnation. Yes, I said that. No, it's not. Oh, I thought, what's this? Yeah. And then that's also what I've heard. Yes, we already read that. Do we make our own destiny, or is everything is already written by our Creator? Thank you. He's bringing up you guys are bringing up really cool things. I guess we have like lots of questions of the other side. I can even channel and they'll tell you, but I've also experienced, so I'll tell you what I've experienced. Okay, we make our own destiny. We make our own destiny every day that we make a decision. Every day. That is our freedom of choice. And we decide who we want to be, what we want to be, how we handle every situation, every confrontation, every obstacle defines who we want to be. Okay? That is our freedom. Now, here's a funny thing. We can make all these decisions, but the soul of us also knows why we are here. So even though I choose to be a doctor instead of a musician, I will still learn the lessons in either one. But yet, I will do what my heart sings. And if I choose the one that heart sings, then the lesson will be easier, only because I will be in the place where I'm already feeling so good about what I'm doing. And so that lesson will be easier for me than if I choose being a doctor and I didn't really want to be a doctor, right? And then everything's a big giant obstacle and makes it harder. And incredibly, how I handled those two, one that I love and one that is hardship, is actually what, when I'm in the light, will say, I need to correct that course. I need to either love being a doctor and make it my heart sing, or I need to choose something else. Isn't that interesting? It's really down to those kinds of details. Does that help you, or did I confuse you more? I hope I didn't. Yeah. Let me know, Ish Nunez. Yeah. So you do write it, but your soul does have an agenda here. You have an agenda here. You knew what you wanted to learn when you came down here. You knew you wanted to be here in this time. I can tell you, I wanted to be here in this time. I did. I don't know why I didn't choose the 1960s, because I think I would have really had a good time then. But I chose now. Isn't that interesting? So I'm waiting to see how this unfolds, because I'm pretty excited. I want to see why I'm here. I do know I'm here to bridge, right? And to help people. Oh, I'm so glad it helps you. Yes. The 60s were great. What are you talking about, Orville Nation? Oh my gosh, all that love and peace. I'm so there. Come on, you know. Yeah. Yes. But, oh well, I'm here in the 2000s. Let's wait and see what the 2060s are like. Yes, why don't we? It's going to be a blast. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the 60s and the 2060s. Let's try. Why not, right? But I'll come back. So, yeah, so I hope these questions have helped you. Now, let me bring in another thing, right? And I'm going to be doing a video on this too because there's so many. Now, so you're down in this life. This is shamanic. This is a lot of what I do, a lot. So you're down in this life and you have chosen to learn these lessons, but you don't know that you have done this, right? You don't know that you have chosen all this. So you think everything is arbitrary, you know, just kind of by coincidence and stuff. It's not. But so you choose a life that you want to learn the total opposite of love. So you're going to learn things like betrayal, abuse, narcissism. You're going to learn these things. Sorry, guys, that's really what it's about. And how you handle that is how then your soul will elevate the universe, right? So these little things, though, sometimes, if we handle it wrong or we hold on to these traumas that we've had in our life, which were actually put in there because that's what we wanted to learn. I know it sounds impossible. Yeah, and yeah, insensitive. Really, it's not. But if we handle these in a way that we keep that victimhood, keep that damage, keep reliving that story, haven't found the higher reason, haven't learned the higher goals, believe it or not, it's like your soul suffers it over and over and over. And parts of the soul that you have in you will say, will shut down or will leave. Say you were in, a really good example of this is, if you were in a childhood that did not allow you to play, did not allow you to explore, did not allow you to feel safe enough to create incredible imaginary worlds and just feel that lightheartedness and adventure. Me, I was a kid. I loved adventure then, and I had to explore everything. I even got lost on a mountain because I love to explore when I was 10 years old. It's okay, I got out of it. But the thing was, some kids don't. And so they got this thing where they have never been able to explore that part. And when they go into adulthood, they still are not able to conquer what they suffered as a child. They cannot explore. They have no adventure, no nothing. All of a sudden, that part of them, that part of their soul will say, you know what, you don't even need me. And it will actually go to another timeline, another place. Or if you live through a lot of torture, mentally, physically, again, parts of you will just leave. It's like the soul is saying, okay, if you are not going to use us, if you are not going to use this part of me, then it will go to another timeline to celebrate what it can celebrate and learn from. Well, I don't know if it was aliens. No, they couldn't change me because I was with another little girl from Canada who was panicking up to wazoo, and I couldn't let her panic. I had to be very logical at 10 years old and listen to what my dad had taught me on how to get off the mountain. And yeah, I was telling her, stop that. You're going to have every bear or bobcat here to eat us up. I did. I had no heart. My job was to get us off that. Anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, so what happens is then you do not feel whole. You will find that you won't, you don't want to explore anything, or you will find that you have trouble processing things, or you will find that you don't understand romance at all, or you will find that there's different parts of you that just will not, you just don't feel right. Some people lose their energy. Some people feel like they can't bring any creation into the world. There are so many symptoms of us going through really hard, traumatic times that stalls our soul and has certain parts leave. Now, if that happens, then you come to me or you go to a shaman you trust. And what we do is that's when I travel psychically, and I usually have to go down to that, remember, the gray, what I call the gray zone, which is down in the roots of the tree, like it's very gray, backwards, kind of weird, where I bring my guides with me because there's such a pull. And I look for your soul. Or if I can't find it there, then I go in other timelines and I see if it's living in another timeline. And then here is the real clincher. I have to work with you first, because if you do not create the environment to nurture that soul back into you, in other words, listen to it, explore it, use it in your life, then it will go again. Now, what do you think about that? Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I hear you just wanted to know what heaven was. You didn't know you were so complicated. But it's really important, and I have seen miraculous things happen. And if you're only living with part of your soul, you will feel like you are in victimhood a lot. You will feel like you are not able to create something. A lot of people feel that. Or they are craving drama to feel alive because they don't feel alive. Yeah? So it's a very interesting thing. And I definitely, yeah. And so that's, and does it work? Yes. It really, yes, it does. Shamanic practices are very ethereal, so it's very hard for people to understand. But when I say I heal the soul, I heal the soul. There's a lot of things I do to help heal the soul. Because a healthy soul creates a better life here on earth and elevates the universe. Yes? Yes. All right, my friends, do you have any other questions about this? And I'm glad I got on and talked about this. It seems like this was something that was very important. And if you are ready, I am ready to answer your questions. And, or if you are fine, we will call it a day and I'll get on another time. But you know what? If you have questions and you don't want to ask on here, which is fine, then see about, yes, I am doing fairs in Chattanooga. Please tell, DM me or PM me. Just M me somewhere. Message me on Messenger, everything. You can, it's very easy to find me. It is my name, Alena Chapman. Very easy. And I am doing a wonderful fair in Chattanooga. I think it's in Dayton, actually, Tennessee, called Hocus Pocus. And that is really cool. If you are from Tennessee or not, you can be from Georgia too. It's a very short way, you know. We're right over the border. Come, because that's where I am doing another wonderful things. I read your soul. And when I read your soul, I actually can give you inner knowledge of what your soul is looking for in this life and why it is here and what it is doing for you, which people absolutely love. And if you are in the Chattanooga area in November, then you can come to my wonderful sacred land, and I have this beautiful barn. We are having a holistic fair community or gathering. I like gathering. I'm still naming it. Holistic fair gathering. And what is it about? It is to Help us to, yeah, it is. Thank you. Thank you. Um, and what we're going to do is we are going to have vendors, but more importantly, we'll have readers, we'll have classes going on that day. It's only once a month. You can't miss it. And it's in a barn that's over 100 years old. So we'll have the classes, we'll have meditations, we'll have drumming, we'll have intentions. We will learn all sorts of things about soul retrievals or making candles or doing whatever else. It'll be just the whole spectrum. And we'll have readers such as myself. It'll be a fun day. And there'll be things for kids. There'll also be, coffee and fun things. It is a time of gathering, community, celebration, and anything that lifts our soul into a higher place. So I think if you are around this area, you must come. Do all souls belong to our Creator? We are all part of the Creator or God or creative source. Yes, we are. We are not only belong, we are part of, and we came from, and we go back. It was Meister Eckhart, 11th century mystic, okay? He has a quote, and it is, the soul can become God, but God does not become a soul. Contemplate that for a few weeks. Makes total sense. Because when we go home, I told you, when I was there, I felt that incredible pull. The pull that is here, but there is so intense that I was part of everything, right? And I was being pulled in to God. But when we come down here, we are also, well, we're everywhere. We're very big. Our soul is humongous. It's not all contained in this little body of ours. But the portion that is here is still its unique Alena. Learning, growing, elevating the source of God even more. Yeah? Yes. Yes, it does. You're right. So it does become, yeah. So that's the whole thing. You join back with God. You're part of that whole network. You are. And who created that, right? The creative force of all being, the Creator, God. Yes? So of course you are part of. Makes total sense. Yeah. All right. Ish Nunez, you have to be on more. Ro, why? Why what, hun? Why do we join? Why do we not? I would love to know what the why means. But Ish Nunez, you need to come on more often. I really enjoy. Good. God, I love this person. Okay. So why do we need to kill? We don't. That's one of the things that we're here, that somehow we get lost, right? But that's a bigger lesson in ego, judgment, right? Yeah, that's on our way of trying to figure out who we are and going home. And we get lost in thinking only one way is right. We get lost in thinking we are only the right way. We are the only ones thinking right. And we are the only ones that can do this or that. And so that's all ego. That is all ego. And that we don't need to kill others to survive. In fact, it's quite the opposite of what we need. However, that is when we are not thinking with soul or with any guidance, because we're blocked by our own, ego, that I am right And that's it, right? Right. Yeah. Will I be doing events again in New York? Not too soon. I would love to, but no, not yet. I mean, I just did one about 3 months ago, you know? And I don't know. We'll see if they want me to do another one. Yeah. Why Matrix? Oh, I didn't say Matrix. I think Inspiration TV or Orville Nation maybe said Matrix. It's not really a matrix. I think he said that because of the connection, maybe. You'll have to ask them. Yeah? Oh, like Bob Proctor had Matrix as his main event. Yes, Bob Proctor did have Matrix. And what he was talking about is the matrices of waking up into what the reality really is because we're all asleep. Yeah? And do you remember the Matrix where they started to wake up and some of them said, oh no, I can't deal with this. I want to go back to all the awfulness. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? People do that too. Do one day are we going to stop eating meat or plants? That's a good question. I'd have to channel for that to see if we are going to. I don't think we are. You remember? Yeah. I don't think we are. But the order, what I'm hearing, but the order of how we do the farming, how we do the cruelty in which we do it will change. Yes. I remember Bob very well. Miss him very much. But he's there. Sometimes he comes on my council, especially if I'm talking about creating your own reality, then he's there all the time. Sometimes you even hear him directly and you don't even know it. MDM event. I don't know what that is, but I like it. R.I.P. and peace, Bob. Yes. Does that help you, Ish Nunez? Yeah? Okay. Bob is resting. He's very happy there. And like I said, he comes on my council sometimes. And he's always cheering me on. And I joke with him a lot because what did he tell me not to do? He told me not to go into spirituality, right? Yeah, and here I am. So even if we kill the body, we can't hurt the souls. Interesting. Ish Nunez. Yes, I will say in a careful way. However, it's a funny thing. We are a funny thing. If somebody, remember when I said those loops that people go into sometimes on the day they died, especially in war or in gang fights or something like that? They can't let go of it. I think that's kind of hurting the soul, putting them in a loop like that, right? Now, granted, they could get out of that loop, but actually they don't know because they don't know they're reliving their life over and over and over and over, sometimes 100 times a day. They don't even know. It's so weird. It's very weird. I can't think, well, is it worse if you're not conscious of it? But I think it's sad. I think it's very sad. So I think we can hurt the soul. We can hurt another person's soul if we cause that. Yes. You're welcome. Yes. Yeah. So it's up to us, if we treat people well. I know that sometimes it's very hard because people are so ego-based. We have that all over the place right now, right? Everybody's right. Nobody could be wrong. There's no in-between, right? Tricky, tricky landslide. Tricky, tricky landslide. All right, guys. I think if you don't, Very good questions. Oh, is it true? Just when I think we're done. It is true that when we sleep, we go to our Creator. Oh my gosh. Ah, so, when we sleep, what a wonderful, wonderful little place to go. When you sleep, there are so many places you go. Now, sometimes you're just in your conscious mind, and that wonderful subconscious mind will bring up all these things to make you address what you're dealing with, and it's so powerful, like a mother who's over controlling or something like that. That will get into your dreams. However, if we are sleeping sometimes and we've worked through a lot of our crap, then we start to do things. I tend to travel in my sleep. I travel to other timelines. All right? I travel to other lives I'm living. And I think I like this one the best. I've decided. But they're fun, but I like this one better. Now, do we go back to the Creator? No, not usually. No, your soul is so incredibly big. I mean, you could go back to the Creator. If you really had that as your thing, you could, but usually that doesn't happen because that is such a different vibrational frequency. And in your dreams, you are in the frequency of you. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to do those jumps. But I will tell you, if you are, if they want to talk to you and you're not open, they will send messages, visions, music in your dreams that you can relate to, and you will wake up in incredible peace. So I hope that helps you. So they can reach you. God can reach you, but you don't go back to God in your sleep. No. Okay? Make sure you contact. Oh, yes, yes. Maria! Oh my gosh, hello, honey. I'm so glad you are on. All right. Yes. You must have had a busy afternoon because I'm just about to end. Although Ishnu is at, oh, did I gotta get that. Ishnunez is asking incredible questions along with Orville Nation and Angular, right? So but it's good to see you guys. Yeah. And I love having you on. Maria, you would love this one if you ever have a time to watch it at some other point. And I do hope you are amazing and everything's going really well for you. Okay. I think that's it, guys. I'll be on again. If you guys have questions, I'll tell you this. If you have questions and what the questions lead me to, if it's more shamanic, I can deal with that. If it's more other stuff, then I will channel. Okay? Hun, you are so extremely welcome. Thank you for being on. I really I loved sharing with you. I love sharing with all of you. All right? Yeah, it was very fun. Take care, everyone. Take care. Come again. Any other questions? DM me or go to alenachapman.com and check it out. Yeah? All right. Bye. I love you all very much.